Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. A question that is posed to us is sometimes that is our karma related to the ascendant that we are born in? I had made a video I think about a couple of weeks back where I had answered that does the purpose of our lives relate anything to the ascendant? And in that I had answered that more than the purpose of life, it is the manner in which you approach your karma that you are born in a certain ascendant. But how about the karma itself? Does the karma relate to what ascendant you are born in? And based on your karma and based on how it relates to the ascendant, is there a karma that we need to live out? And what are the challenges and issues or the flavors that a certain ascendant brings to our karma, and are they related? Now, in a nutshell, the karma for each individual is different. Just because you're born in a certain ascendant doesn't mean everybody's karma is the same, because there are only 12 ascendants and there are more than more than 6 billion people worldwide. So that means that being born in a certain ascendant need not make everybody's karma the same. Everybody's karma is unique. Everybody has to live out their own karma, and hence people born in the same ascendant cannot have a same karma, or at least they cannot have a certain karmic thread. However, there could be a relationship between the karma of an individual, specific individual, to the ascendant based on what he is carrying. For example, if you are born, if you are a person who has to pay off a karmic debt to your father, where you have been uncaring to your father, unsupportive to your father, unemotional to your father, you have been cold to him, you have not taken care of him, you have not nursed him when he was sick, you have not been supportive when he had challenges, you have not cared for him when he needed your help, then that is a karmic debt you need to pay. It could be because you have a karmic debt to be supportive, that you have to be caring, to be emotionally stand by your father, and hence you may be born in a certain ascendant where your karmic debt is related to nurturing, caring and supporting your father. For example, for a Scorpio ascendant native, the 9th house is the house of or the sign of Cancer. So the 9th Lord Moon denotes, also represents your father, which means that a certain element of caring, supporting, nurturing which the Cancer sign brings is what will be associated with the father. And so the manner in which you deal with your father has to be more caring, more supportive, emotionally stand by him and take care of him. So it is critical to understand how the karmic debt has to be paid off. However, this is a very simplistic and a very generalistic view of the ascendancy. That way, every house can be related to some sign and some relationship. That doesn't mean that you have a karmic debt to each one of them based on that sign. Then how do you relate to your karma? Your karma is related to a particular ascendant only when a certain house is very strongly activated and that relation shows some thread of karmic debt. So for example, for a Scorpio ascendant native, if more planets get associated with the 9th house either by conjunction or placement with the 9th lord or aspecting the 9th house, then the 9th house of fathers, studies, teachers is all triggered very strongly. And so then you can say, because the 9th house is strongly activated, there is some karmic thread which is connecting your 9th house to Cancer sign, and hence through that association to the ascendant which is Scorpio. So it is an indirect association with the ascendant rather than a direct relationship of the karmic debt to the ascendant. So through indirect debt, definitely, which means there is some relationship between what your karma is and what your ascendant is, but not complete. It's not that you are born in this ascendant, so you need to take care of this karma. For example, I have seen videos that if you're born in Capricorn this life, which means what is the sign opposite to Capricorn? Cancer, which means in the last life you were very emotional, you were you were too nurturing and caring, you're too mushy and soft. So this life you're born in a sign which is opposite to Cancer. Now you're born in Capricorn sign. As if Capricorn sign people have no emotions, no nurturing, no caring that they need to take into account, which is a very simplified and very, I would say, error prone approach to an ascendant. That's not how simplistic ascendants are. Otherwise, people born in one ascendant, everybody would have a similar karma, would have a similar life, would have similar situations in life. We all know that's not how it happens. So it's more complex than that. However, the simple thread, a small thread, will attach the karma to the ascendant. So at a very generic, at a very simplistic thread, or the very minute, minuscule thread, how is the ascendant attached to the karma? So let's dive into it. So this is more of a light-hearted video. Don't take it to heart too much. Your horoscope may still be unique away from the ascendant in spite of being born in the ascendants that I'm talking about. So pay more attention to the planetary placements in the signs and which house is more activated, what planetary energies are activated more, and then relate it to your karma rather than just to your ascendant. But first, a shloka related to karma before we go. Sage Bhrigu talks about what is your pending karma and he relates it to the 6th house. What does Sage Bhrigu say? Wherever the 6th lord in a natal chart sits, or the planets in the 6th house indicate the pending karma of this life that must be crossed to go to the next cycle of life. This is the block that must be cleared and wiped out in this life. This is the thing that will always stop your progress and haunt you in this life. The placement of the 6th lord is important, and what are the planets which are placed in the 6th house are important, and what are the energies they bring forth to your karma. So that is one of the important things. So generally see where the 6th house lord is placed and what are the planets placed in the 6th house. Are they forming an association? If they are forming an association, then that is a very, very strong pointer towards what your karma is. Second, what is the relationship between your 9th house, which is the house of Prarabdha karma, and where does the 9th lord sit? And see if 9th lord is forming any association with the 6th house lord or the planets placed in the 6th house, then that is an even stronger denotion of what your karma is, and then relate that to the ascendant and how it plays out. If the ascendant lord forms a relation with the 6th lord or with the planets in the 6th house or the 9th lord, then too there is a strong karmic thread which you need to deep dive into and ascertain what that karma is and how you have to take it forward. I have also made videos on pending karma and how karma should be seen, and how you need to manifest it, and then how you need to approach it. So see those videos also. And this is more at a more generic level, but certainly tying the karma to the ascendant. So from tying the karma to the ascendant and not only related to what your karma is. So let's deep dive into what each ascendant at a generic level, at a minute karmic thread attaching level, what each ascendant can be related to what karma. People born in the Aries zodiac are born to fight and to struggle and to win through achievement and strive. And since struggle is the way of life, they represent in a way the Kalpurush Kundli or horoscope to a large extent. Their karma is to use their high energies to push through life, to attain and to get ahead. Without a struggle, without a purpose, without a fight, they won't be at ease. That's their karma, the struggle to get where they want to, and they just love that fight, that agitation, that purpose and that win. So at the generic level, striving is the way of life, effort, and to do things with energy, and to get what their goal in life is and to do their karma. However, it is not, this is again at a generic level, and one needs to deep dive more into and see where the strive is, where the struggle is. Sometimes if the Aries Lord Mars is very weak, then their striving could be against themselves, that they are not able to, they are goalless, they don't have a goal in life, they don't know where to strive, and that becomes their struggle, that they don't know, they are headless and they don't know where to go to. So each ascendant, when the ascendant is not giving you specific directions based on the ascendant itself, then you need to look at what is the struggle that ascendant is giving you based on your karma, and not get into generic means. Taurus people love the good life. Their struggle is for attaining the goodies of life, and many times a lot of Taurus natives are lucky too to start with. However, they still have to struggle and put in effort in that direction to savor the good life. Large-hearted but large-mouthed too, they can't control their sense of needing to put their points across, sometimes too loudly and strongly, even while holding some ideals close to their hearts. Raging through like the bull when disturbed, and when their notions are agitated in a struggle they need to come to terms with. And the good and easy life just doesn't come too easy, is what they need to learn. Gemini natives truly represent the yin and yang of the thought process, the confusion of the human mind between good and bad, between what to do and what not to do, between what to say and what not to say. And hence many Gemini natives are born with very good communication skills, and they can charm their way through the conversation, if not good looks or ability. That they have a strong intellect is another advantage, but their struggle is to come to terms with the unpredictability of life and use their mind, their communication skills to rise. Cancer natives' struggle is more of the emotional kind, the matters of the heart, the home and families. They can't see injustice or unfairness or someone in a poor state and are protective of people, especially immediate families. Their struggle is to come to terms with their emotional sides, and their karma is to live their life balancing family, emotions, empathetic sides, and through that leave behind a legacy. Leos are born leaders, or so they think. Their struggle and karma is to try and reinforce their leadership, the sense of pride, the sense of respect and standing, and the ability to be in the forefront, and their effort usually is around these themes. The natural side of Leos comes through even in the most docile of situations, where leadership is not under focus, and if not listened to, then their fragile pride is hurt, and then they nurse their self-respect with hitting back and with the roar of the hurt lion, and everyone can hear them loud and clear. So the karma of the Leo is to be able to still make a contribution without letting their pride, their need to lead, coming in the way. Virgos are the perfectionists, struggling to come to terms with the ordinary and the incomplete and the less than needed. And that is what the Virgo is trying to make sense of all the time, as if on cue, without sometimes even being asked to. And that's what a Virgo native karma is. They can't help trying to analyze situations, analyze people, analyze data, analyze life itself, and figure solutions. And heaven help others if the solution or action is less than perfect. Hence, the struggle of the Virgo native is to come to terms with this perfectionist attitude and learn to live with less than ordinary in others as they see it, and still make a contribution. Through the ability to analyze and come up with brilliant solutions to serve is the karma of the Virgo native. What is life without relations, without connecting, without a more intimate closeness and the warmth that brings? That's the Libra native for you. Getting to know others and closer to some while keeping the distance to most, even while knowing them better than other zodiacs, is what this native is all about. Relations are paramount and some more than the others. And here commitment is important. The need to feel important is in focus. The need to feel wanted and desired and cherished is the focal point. Their struggle is to be able to contribute and achieve even while rummaging through the ruins of some relations and the intimacy of some other. Sometimes failure and achievement through one relationship is just not enough, and savoring many is their struggle to feel a sense of coming of age through relations. For the Scorpio native, the adage is, I will take the dark, the deep, the mystery and the mysterious. I want all. This is what they seem to say, and delving into the deep, even while coming to terms with their own ghosts, their own fears, but not wanting to be seen as vulnerable, and hence keeping that magnetic and mysterious exterior is their struggle. They love the chase and the people that chase them to know more of their magnetic aura, and they will look back to take just a glance if the chase is still on. They like the mysterious and the mysteries and come across less than fully understood. Their struggle is to cope with misunderstandings, the half-left chase, the incomplete knowledge of the depth of the soul they want to reach, and through that realize the self. To lead a complex and intense life as the sign represents and deal with processes of transformation is their karma. The Sagittarius native is the adventurous, the traveler, the excitement seeker, the learner, the wise, and the fiery when tried to be caged in. And that is the Sagittarius native in all his or her glory. More honest than the others and less inhibited in what they want to say, their honesty can appear to others as bluntness. Communication, as with most things, tends to be uninhibited. To be able to deal with people's expectations and to be mindful of those, to settle down, to allow others their say in own their lives, and to be okay with people's expectations and accepting of their fallacies is their struggle and also their karma. You just can't keep this bird caged, and they protect their need to feel free with their lives. This is their struggle and their overarching karma, even when knowing and learning and savoring that they easily imbibe. For the Capricorn native, the adage is, I live by the book and I will die protecting my right to live by it. Dutiful, committed, organized, meticulous, hardworking is who they are. And God help those around them who are less in any of these. The Capricorn native has less respect for the less organized, the less structures, and the less loyal. They will defend their beliefs and the people who they are loyal to with a fierce intent almost bordering on slavery. Slaves to their notions, slaves to their beliefs in order, and rulers of commitment to these. Their struggle is with what is out of boundary, stepping out of those lines they have drawn, to see the creative as less taboo and raise their heads and look beyond their work, their duties, and what they stand for and stand with. The Aquarius native is humanitarian to the core. I will bring a change, I will improve lives, I will commit to humanity, and their problems seem to be their tagline. They think large, they miss the devil is in the detailed regimen, and hence always seeming to carry a banner in their hands and to rise to meet and push what they feel is the solution to the larger problem is their problem. Network, social connections, social intricacies, and through that to reach their objectives is their core. Their struggle is to be able to see the smaller, less visible strands within the larger challenges they see, and hence tend to ignore the smaller items while carrying a banner of this is the only solution, and yet to be able to balance the current is their main struggle. For the Pisces native, He lives by, let me dream, this dream needs realization, it is a good dream, this is a good world even if imaginary, let me be. Trying to bring about an ideal world or live in one, they seem to sometimes miss the trees for the bushes. They seem to float above everyone else and hence seem to be closer to the other, an imaginative and ideal world they dream of and savor to be in. Always sensitive, imaginative, creative, their struggle is to come to terms with reality, what is here and now, and break the shackles of idealism and the need to be in that world. Taken advantage of many times due to this idealistic gullibility is their struggle, and not to retreat back into that unreal shell is their karma. Karma begets karma. You live by your karma and sometimes you die by your karma, and karma is what we are in this life for, and not just to live out our karma but to create a new karma. So a certain ascendant is also an opportunity for you, not to just live by what karma you have come to into this world to, because that is a very minor, very small thread which connects you, your karma, to the ascendant, but it also an opportunity for you based on what sign you are born in, what to do representing each sign. If you are born in Taurus, then the second house is Gemini, the sign of communication. Then your earnings is related to communication. If you are born in Cancer, then the second house is Leo, then your earnings and savings are connected to leadership, to taking the lead. So each sign representing what house it is representing and what are the attributes gives that kind of an opportunity and that kind of approach to build your karma. So in a nutshell, the karma is related to the ascendant to a small extent, but not complete. Karma is not based on the ascendant, and it is also an opportunity. So whatever your ascendant is, look deeper into what each sign represents in that ascendant and what is most active. See the relationship between the 6th lord, planets in the 6th house, and the 9th house lord, and basis that connection, that sharing of energies, make out what your best karma is and where the opportunity lies to let go of the karmic debt and to build on better one in the future. So friends, please like this video, please share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. And till some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, signing off. Ciao.